Welcome, everyone. So good to see everybody again. This year, we were just talking, Peter and Nella and I, and we were trying to figure out how many seasons we've been going on. If anyone has any idea, because none of the people that are here now organizing were here then. So if anybody
Five, isn't it?
pardon me?
I think it's close to 5.
No, it's more than that. It's like about 8 or 9. Yeah, because I remember being in Mexico when I got the email. And it was like years and years ago. But Peter's going to figure it out. He knows, he thinks. Anyway, good. So then I'll be able to say welcome to season 8. Okay, good. Welcome to the Zoom people as well. Good to see you here. It is with great appreciation that we, the residents of Protection Island, acknowledge this land as the unceded territory of the Nanaimo First Nation and of their legacy throughout the island. Thanks, Emily and Marlene, for helping set up. This talk is being recorded. We have asked Gary, and it's fine to record. Emily will let us know in a day or two when it's available for future listening. Questions at the end, please. If you have a really important question, I'm sure Gary, he'll let you know how he feels about it at the end. Okay, at the end. And Zoomers, use the chat box or raise your hand so we can see it. Mute yourselves until the end. As you can see, we have temporarily gone back to using commercial products for our food just until we get the final approval for the kitchen. And Linda says that's sometime in February.
The 10th, the inspector is coming.
Perfect. Yes. Okay. So I might be able to come down and whip something up, but not likely. Donations this time will go to the guides. Okay. Let's move that. Okay, now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, and that's Gary O'Brien. And Gary is employed as a reserve constable with the Nanaimo RCMP and serving as a regular member of the RCMP for a little over 32 years. He's a proud maritimer. He hails from Fredericton, New Brunswick, and is an alumnus of the University of New Brunswick. He graduated in 1985 with a Bachelor of Science in Geology. So I said, why aren't you a geologist? He says, he wasn't quite sure what he wanted to do with his degree. And he knew he craved more challenge. He thought he would like to move on from his hometown and see Canada. So in 1989, he enrolled in Canada's RCMP College in Regina. And as luck would have it, he was assigned to Nanaimo in 1995. Here, he has had a number of duties which consisted of frontline enforcement, bike patrol, drug enforcement, and as a school liaison officer. Since 2010, Gary has been the face and voice of the Nanaimo detachment, serving as the Nanaimo RCMP Media Relations Officer, a position he still occupies. While not working, Gary's interests lie in hiking, running, traveling, cooking, and sipping a nice red wine. And a lot of us probably agree with you there. While watching his beloved Canucks and Blue Jays. He is married with 3 grown children. Today, Gary will be addressing the issues of scams and frauds in our community, what they look like, how they are perpetuated, and what you can do to protect your hard-earned money. Please welcome Reserve Constable Gary O'Brien. Hey. Thank you.
Geez, I thought I'd travel a lot until I met Roger. Put me to shame. So my wife and I traveled 47,000 kilometers last year. So the circumference of the earth is only 40. But nothing like this guy. So this is what I do in my spare time with my little son. We're actually going to Calgary on Monday. Spend time with him. And with his mom, who just get into hiking. So this is our first real hike. We did Lake Louise. And we went like 6,000 feet on a beautiful day like that. It was just phenomenal. And then when we get tired of that, we go to Mexico. And then we hang out in bed. I think we went there 3 times last year. Crazy. Anyways, so frauds and scams, huge deal. Like Nanaimo's got a lot of issues. Okay, no understatement. I've been here policing here since '95. I cut my teeth 5 years in Powell River after a depot. Got here, it was like it was a kick and punch town. The Hells Angels controlled it. Drugs is the base of all crime. 85% of all crime is drug related. And now we've got marginalized people. We have mental health issues with a combination of the two. But talking to police officers up and down the ranks, the number one issue is frauds and scams. It affects everybody. And they are after us. They're trying to steal our money. There's no escape. There's people who infiltrate communities like this. They go, I got a great deal. You don't have a great deal. Guaranteed investment, 35%. No, there's no guarantees in life. And it's reality. You get newspaper arrows, you get phone calls, you get text messages, you get emails. It's endless. It's an endless onslaught. And it's so advanced. Like people think, oh, I'm a smart guy. But you don't know. Just 1 minute, one slip, one phone call. I'll give you some stories here from people I've talked to. And the woman said, I didn't bring my A game. She lost X amount of dollars. Okay. I'm not a stupid man, but I lost a lot of money. Kind of stuff we have to be aware of. It's a global issue. It's not confined to Protection Island. We're talking multinational. We're talking countries across the world, governments involved in this, and they're coming after one thing, your money. And so there's a lot of people who have no idea about any of this stuff. So your mission today, if you choose to accept it, is to go out like a missionary and share the good words with two people, okay, over coffee, and bring it up in discussion. Don't attack them. Say, I can't believe it. How about that? A lot of people don't. And they're the ones that they're going to lose their money. And you're going to hear the hard luck stories. So we're not going to force our way. We're not going to win it through law enforcement. It's going to be through education, prevention, awareness. Exactly what it is. Because every time a call center in Mumbai gets shut down, another one sucks up. There's another 1,000 people. They only got 5 billion people to choose from. Okay? And it's ridiculous. So we're not going to do it that way. It's through education. It's like the drug issue on our streets. Through the next generation we're trying to save. That's how it is. So Canadian Anti-Fraud Center, government agency that collects data on how frauds are carried out. Okay? So far, reported losses on frauds, about $544 million. To put it in perspective, this is only Canada-based. And only about 5% of all scams are ever reported. So do the math. We have a chemist here. Hello. Do the math. No calculator. That's a lot. We're talking trillions of dollars, Canada alone. Okay. So bear that, and I'll come back to that stat as we move through the program. 5% are ever reported. So I've given these talks up and down the island. I've literally talked to thousands of people. And for example, last year, I gave a talk at a seniors conference in town. And there was a woman she came from Bowser. She said, oh, yeah, I really like your talk. We have a little community group. We get together just for coffee and fellowship. Maybe you come up and talk to our group someday. Fantastic. Road trip. Went up there 2 months later. I pull into the rec center and I can't find a parking spot. That's weird. And literally, there's I would say 500 to 600 people in that room hearing our little talk. So that's where you realize it's a significant issue, regardless where you go. From the island all the way to Bonavista, Newfoundland. It's a big deal. And this is what I hear from people when I give the talks. That, hey, I'm not a stupid man, but I lost $8,000. How could I be so naive? He said he was a lawyer. Whoa. I won't touch that one. I got in trouble making a joke about that one. And the other one is, what are we going to tell the kids? We just spent their inheritance. Right? They're going to think we're losing our marbles. And that's it. And a lot of sad stories. And really good people who just let the guard down for 1 second and lost that money. Sad. So see how smart you are. Who's targeted more often? And why? Think about it before you jump over the answer, because I'm going to tell you you're wrong. Okay, you can answer now.
I think the boomers.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
See, that's what you're smart on that. Wrong. Okay, call a friend. You want to do a street shout out? This is all cash grab stuff, right? Okay. The millennials, the iPhone generation. These are my kids. They're 27 and 30. These are the ones where I would literally have to go into their bedrooms at night and take the phone out of their sleeping hand. And that's like other people have experienced that. They slept with their phones in their hands. These people, like, they get all their information on the iPhone. They're doing these silly little surveys. How smart am I? Who's my true mate? La 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 la. And all that is, it's data mining. They're trying to get information from you. For example, the little ads on Facebook. Who's on Facebook? Oh yeah. Mayday. I can work with you after. Right? Come to the light. So the little ads on Facebook. Who's your favorite grade 5 teacher? What color was your first car? Why didn't they do that? They don't care. The Chinese developing an algorithm to figure out what your password is. Don't go there. Back to the iPhone generation, doing these little surveys, it's data mining. They're trying to get passwords, because people are very common with their passwords. But what it is they're just nickel and diming people. They're saying, well, for $12.95, you can get surveys all year round. Wow, that's wonderful. And they do. They spend $12.95, right? Another person will spend $100 because it's the advanced level. But then they move on to the next person. $150 is the average loss. But there's hope for you yet, because it's the baby boomers and the silent generation who've lost or losing all the money. On average, $8,000. Because they worked hard. They got the RSPs, they got the tax-free savings account set up. Okay. Criminals know that. That's why they're targeting Oceanside and why they're targeting Qualicum Beach. Because the average demographic, Qualicum Beach is the oldest in Canada, followed by Oceanside. They're in there, they're just infiltrating it. My battery just, oh, there we go. Oh, here's our friend. Wow. Go ahead for a sec. Whoa. Don't be upset. He's got a cut.
Well, a digital version of me, just a bit older. Amazing what technology can do these days, isn't it? All you need are a couple of pictures, like the ones you share on social media, where they can be taken and used by everybody. I know for you, these pictures are just memories, but for others, they are data. And for me, maybe the beginning of a horrible future. Future where my identity can be stolen, where I can go to prison for things that I would never do. Imagine my credit score being destroyed, Dad, or my voice copied to scam you, Mom. I don't want to become a meme, humiliated by everyone at school.
Kill yourself, you fucking loser.
And I certainly don't want this. What you share online is like a digital footprint that will follow me around for the rest of my life. I'm telling you this because I know you love me and would never do anything to harm me. So please, Mom, please, Dad, protect my virtual privacy.
So that was actually shown in a movie theater. And it's kind of like shaming parents and grandparents. But if you look backwards, it's the youth who are posting all the videos. Like, do you know how many videos our kids are posting every day? This Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Okay. And in there was a snippet of a voice said, "I'm in trouble, Mom, send money." I post this because we had a situation last year, happened quite a bit. We had a niece calling the grandparents, and the people were calling our office saying, "My niece called. She said she was in Colombia." So what they did, they took a snippet off her voice. All they need is 5 seconds. Take a snippet of her voice from the social media platform, public source, open source, and they stretched it to say what they want her to say. And so the scenario was she was in Colombia, she was driving a car, she hit a pregnant woman in a crosswalk. Pregnant woman didn't die, she was injured, she was arrested. Out of consideration for her, because she's a Canadian citizen, they took her to the Canadian consulate. Canadian consulate was then having her call. Wasn't her, it's a scam. Probably calling from Ladysmith for all we know. So then Oh my gosh, what do I do? Well, they're looking for money. Okay, she has to get bail money to get out, but it gets better. Instead of bail money, you can also send gift cards.
Yeah.
That's where the head just turns around. Like gift cards. Wow. So getting back to that stat, where only about 5% of the frauds are ever reported. We had 400 calls to our office. How many people fell for it? It worked for about 3 days, and they move on to another one. Like these guys just sit in coffee shops. Let's do this. Hey, that's a great one. Colombia, accident, pregnant woman, boom. So I had a buddy of mine who's retired. He had 2 successful businesses. He said, Gary, my niece just called me from Colombia. I said, no, Jim, she didn't call you. Say it again. She didn't call you. Okay, it's AI software. Anybody can do it. But that's her voice. I say, yeah, it was. You think about where they got it from. Did she ever post a video to social media? Sure, she did. Any kid who's ever had an iPhone has done that at some point. So be aware. Terrible stuff. So this one too. This is scary.
This morning, an urgent warning from an Arizona mom who says she was the victim of a terrifying voice cloning hoax. I just walked inside and started screaming for help. Jennifer DeStefano says when she recently received a call from an unknown number, she almost didn't answer. 15-year-old daughter Brianna was on a skiing trip. She worried it could be an emergency, so she picked up.
And it's my daughter's voice crying and sobbing, saying, Mom. And I'm like, okay, what happened? She's like, Mom, these bad men have me. Help me, help me.
DeStefano says a man demanded ransom in exchange for Brianna. He didn't want a wire transfer, but instead told her he'd pick her up.
I started to wonder, like, if these people were like asking to track my mom and like pick her up, like they could have obviously been like putting some information together to try and track me or some of my siblings to actually make this a reality. So it definitely scared me.
Within minutes, they confirmed her daughter was safe. She says it was all a scheme using artificial intelligence to replicate her daughter's voice.
Most people in the modern age have some form of an online identity and have probably spoken in some way, in some aspect that's been recorded, especially if you're under the age of 25. So this becomes very, very challenging as we move into a future where we do have these AI generators or synthetic audio when it comes to verification and validation.
Experts caution anyone with the right software can clone voices in just a matter of seconds.
There's a lot of positive and exciting aspects about these technologies, but then of course they also come with a lot of risks and harms.
So the simplest way to prevent that is a password. Just a password. Okay, do you think somebody in your family is approaching you on the phone for money? Somebody's in trouble. You have to think, wait a minute, I've heard about this. Sounds like a scam. What's the password? Click. The family password established. Instead of going through, okay, we used to vacation on an island when we were 12. What was the name of the dog that was on the island that hung out with us? People forget that all the time. Okay, just set up a password and change it every so often. That's all you got to do. I love children. Let's talk about some scams. These are very common. These are like ones we're getting across the board. WhatsApp. Anybody have the WhatsApp? Very common. WhatsApp is used when you're traveling abroad. People don't want to text because it costs money. WhatsApp is free. And often this will happen. The hackers will get into the contacts of somebody, send it to mom or dad, saying, hey, my phone got destroyed. What they're doing last year, they're saying that, hey, Mom, I dropped my phone in the toilet. That was the standard thing. I talked to a woman who sent $3,000 to her daughter because her daughter had dropped her phone in the toilet. So, you silly thing. So she sends it and away she goes. Very simple, very effective as well.
Why would you pay anything?
Right here. Are you at home? This is another one. Standard text. You'll never guess what happened to me. This is my temporary phone number. You can save it to your contact. You're talking to a scammer. Okay? Again, password, password, password. These are very common. These are text messages that everybody is receiving. It's called phishing, P-H-I-S-I-H-I-N-G. They send thousands of these out at any given time, hoping somebody will bite. That's all it is. And people will bite. Oh, Costco, $2 annual reward now available. Scam. Canada Post, scam. The vehicle, this one was really effective. Our switchboard was lit up. Wow, people are trying to get out of a ticket. You can't get out of a ticket by going to a website. It's a fake website. Okay, you get a ticket, you got to go to the courthouse. You got to file an appeal. Then you got to go for a justice of the peace and tell them why you weren't speeding. You can't do that. Okay, it's fake. Scotiabank. Every debit card starts with this. Okay, come on. But people fall for that. Oh, I better call Scotiabank. They just send me a text message. Your bank will not send you a text message. If you're going to call your bank, you're going to call, turn around on your debit card, only call the number on the back of your debit card or your credit card, nothing else. Scammer said, here's the phone number to call. And they sound legit, right? We'll talk about call spoofing in a second. You get a phone. Oh, it's Scotiabank calling me. No, it's not Scotiabank. It's probably the idiot next door who spoofed your phone number. Don't believe any phone number that pops up on your voice message. CRA, of course they're not calling you. Okay, I used to put the video in, but everybody kind of knows how it is. Officer Jonathan Smith, he's calling, okay? But it's based like that. The CRA, they will never threaten you, okay? They're not interested in having your dog, your truck, right? They're not seizing all your assets. Wow, the fairies come so close, eh? I didn't realize that. Regine told me about that. Sit there with their glass of wine looking at them. Okay, but they may call you. They don't get a good response. I do a lot of stories on the grandson scam, and I put one out, and like 5 minutes after I sent it out, the comms director for the CRA in Ottawa called me. He said, Gary, great article, but we actually do call people. Of course, me being a maritimer with no filter, I said, well, that's really stupid. She goes, well, it is. People like they don't think we're a scammer because they're listening to you. But they actually will call, but they won't say, hey, we're looking for personal information. We're going to say, we have some issue or something, or you've got to log into your CRA account or call. Don't accept this phone number. Go to the official website. Call the number at the official website. Something to that effect. Nothing more. Facebook Marketplace. Who sells stuff on Marketplace? Everybody. Ripe with scammers. Okay, ripe with scammers. That is so bad. I was cleaning out my garage last year. I had life jackets that were too small for the kids, like $5 or $10. This guy goes, "Oh, I love that. These things. Can you? Yeah, I'm out of town for a week. Here's a link. Click the link. Yeah, okay, buddy." So I use that as a story. Like, it's terrible. So money is powerful on Marketplace. It really is. Only e-transfer if you've done your homework. Do you know who the person is? Have you done business with them before? Is their Facebook site is it legit, or does it look like it was just created yesterday? Do they have any friends? No friends. Do you have any mutual friends? Mutual friends you can check. Have they ever sold anything? And if so, what's their rating? These are things you have to look at. So my wife is fixated with our grandchild. It happens, right? First grandchild. Our house is toy city. I'm running around the city the entire time on my days off picking up toys. But at the last second, she e-transfers at the last second once she's done the homework and they basically see me going up the driveway. Boom, she hits send. So she's not going to rip it off. It's only like $10. But at the same time, it's still your money. So caveat emptor, the buyer beware, only e-transfer once you've done your homework. I had a friend of mine who was buying tickets to the Taylor Swift concert, $1,000 each.
Oh,
She has 3 of them. So a mutual friend, so I have a friend, and she wasn't BSing her. I have a mutual friend who can't go. They've had an emergency in their family. He lives in Saskatchewan. He has 3 tickets. So the mutual friend set the contact up with my friend and the friend in Saskatchewan. They started talking. And they got to know each other. They trusted each other. She said, yeah, okay, it's good. She sent the money. She never got the tickets. Turns out why? She wasn't talking to the friend. His Facebook site had been hacked. She was talking to the scammer. So frustrating. They have to be so careful. That's a fraudulent e-transfer. Okay, right there. That came from the scammer. The guy who wanted to buy the life jackets. That's a scam. See, right there. This is legitimate. I've got auto deposit. Okay, once I sell something, this is the only thing that I will get. Your money's been deposited. Thank you very much. Romance scams. Yeah, I'm not a marriage counselor. I don't need to have a show of hands. Who's on the dating sites? Okay, don't want to go there. All you need to know. These two are in synchronicity. Okay, the scammers. Most of them are based in Cambodia. They're calling from sweatshops. They're actually been victimized. So believe it or not, get this. I was telling the Roger earlier, is that a lot of the scammers come out of Cambodia. So they're lured to these sweatshops by the promise of work or modeling or something else. Once they go inside, the door closes behind them. The first thing the scammers do, take a blood test to find out if their organs are compatible because they do organ harvesting. And then that gunpoint, they're thrown into these shops. You will start making contact with people on Facebook, dating sites, and you will figure this out. Okay, you'll get as much money as possible. If you don't, we will kill you or your family. So double victimization, it's terrible stuff, and it's selective. So they go into Facebook sites. So we had about 50% of the people here on Facebook. Do you know how? And I'm trying to embarrass you at all. Do you know how to change your privacy settings on Facebook? No. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. $5 is coming your way. Okay, there's 4 settings for Facebook. This is what the scammers want. There's 4 settings. One is nobody can see your Facebook site except you. And it's really narcissistic. So you're posting pictures of yourself. Wow, I look really good. Blah, blah, blah. The other one is friends. So people that you have vetted are allowed to look into your site. You, in turn, can look into their world. And it's their world, right? The other one is friends of friends. A little dicey, 6 degrees removed. Could have a little teenager. Oh, I know that guy. That's Constable O'Brien. Oh, I'm friends. He's friends with my mother, and I'm going to go in and look at his site. I don't want that. Okay. The other one is the public. There's 4 billion people on Facebook. 4 billion people can look into your Facebook site. So that's what scammers are hoping for. You're going to figure out, they're going to do their homework. You're going to figure out what your likes, dislikes. Are you married, divorced, widowed? Do you ski? Do you travel? Do you do this, do this? And they develop their stuff. And they'll send a like request to your Facebook, or they'll swipe right or left, whatever it is on dating sites, and you become a friend. 6 to 8 weeks, they have developed, and they're good. They have developed a relationship with these people. And how I know this? I've talked to the people, and they've lost their money. I had a woman whose husband was predeceased. She had a little bit of wine going. She had her computer. She was new to the Facebook, new to the dating sites. There's a lot of free dating sites out there. Some person's bing, liked the profile. She said, oh, that's great. And she was flattered. She was getting attention. This person came into her life. 6 to 8 weeks, they were professing the love for each other. She'd never met him. Didn't even know what he looked like, except for the picture he posted. And he was a general of the U.S. Army based in Turkey. What could possibly go wrong with that? They were going to buy a house. They're going to move to Florida Keys, live on the golden years together. After 6 to 8 weeks, and what you want to do is go on, do a Google search. Look at testimonials, Facebook dating site scams, romance sites. There's another book going by. Wow. You know, Jean drinks so much. She can't hear this stuff. Yeah, I know she can. Why I said it. So this is standard. After 6 to 8 weeks, all of a sudden there's an emergency in the family. They've either got robbed, they lost their passport. In this particular case, he had a lot of money, but it was tied up in gold. And he couldn't get it through customs in Turkey. He wanted to retire. He didn't know what to do. He was beside himself. And this is going back and forth. And this is the gist of their conversation. How do I get this money out of the country? I don't know. You just go, well, I know how. I love you. I'll just cash in all my RSPs, $140,000, and send the money to him. And she did this over like 2 days, about 20 different wire transfers. Money goes, he goes to her Facebook site, delete it, and gone. So I'm sitting in her living room, and I'm trying to be totally respectful. I said, why would you do that? Like, why? I'm just trying to understand. She said, well, wouldn't you do that for someone you love? And I go, no. No. I said, you don't know who the person is. You can do reverse imaging. You can find out that picture. That picture popped up with a whole bunch of different profiles. Didn't listen to her friends, right? Just to steer away from that for a second, back to the grandson scam. I had a friend of mine. She's a very successful realtor in town. No kids, loved her nieces and nephews. She got a call, right? Auntie, I'm in trouble. Call me. And she called. And she thought she was talking to her niece. Only talked so long, they put the lawyer on. Then they put the executive assistant on. She's in jail. She's in Montreal. She was drinking. She had a car accident. I need money to get out. My friend ran to the bank and they're asking for $8,000. The teller said, you're being scammed. And my friend said, no, I'm not being scammed. Give me my money right now. The teller didn't stop. The teller brought out a laptop, turned it around, and showed her all the testimonials. That's the only way that she did not lose her $8,000. Crazy stuff. So this is standard stuff. They're just working from a script, and it's very effective. I had a friend of mine, she approached me. She had a friend who's quadriplegic, living on the third floor in Vancouver. He had contact with a Russian model living in Paris who professed her love for him and wanted to move to Canada. He was convinced he was going to do anything for this beautiful girl. I tried to tell my friend to tell him it is a scam. Would not listen to me at all. Because this was the light, the shining light that got him through his misery at this point. I don't know what happened with that one. Bitcoin. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, okay, folks? He's not selling Bitcoin, and Mark's not selling Bitcoin. But the woman I talked to in town, she lost $80,000 because Mark Carney was selling Bitcoin or cryptocurrency on Facebook. But she believed it. Artificial intelligence, manipulating the lips, these fake websites. That's all it was. $80,000. I just listened to a W5 article when I was doing a little bit of research, updating the thing. A woman in Mississauga, $1.7 million. Because she saw an ad, back up, Justin Trudeau. He was offering crypto. So it's got to be true. So she called the number. Of course, it's a scammer. So what it is, she took a second mortgage on her house, dropped $1 million in. And what they did, they sent back in a month, they sent back $100,000. That's not how much money she had made. No, they just sent her money back to her. That's all they did. Okay. They said, oh my God, look at the return. That is crazy. Then she invested another $700,000. She lost everything. Absolutely everything. So I got to know, the crypto, extremely risky, high risk. Go to a certified bank. Go to a certified financial advisor. Don't go to somebody who's got a white van sitting in the corner and says it's crypto for sale. Okay, don't do that. Okay, they're not registered. There's a reason why they're not registered. Go to the BC Securities Commissions, punch in their name. Is it a registered company? Do that. Have fun, but don't lose your shirt as well. It's speculation, right? Goes up one day, goes down the next day. Certified banks, registered financial planners. End of story. Here's two examples. Interesting ones, true stories. Just summarize for you. Sally met Harry online, right? He's selling all this stuff. He's got hundreds of clients, right? He offered to invest it for her with no charge. She went to a Bitcoin. There's lots of Bitcoin machines in the city, lots. This is what the grandson scammers do now. They say, well, you can pay off your $4,000 in overdue tax by buying gift cards. So they send them either to the gift cards or through cryptocurrency, one of the two. She went to Bitcoin. She set the funds in. It grew dramatically. $300,000 was invested. That's her money. Money went in. Harry disappeared. Money gone. Next one. Mark saw an online crypto ad with a picture of someone famous. Well, he clicked on the link, provided the contact information, which is a scammer, right? He tried to withdraw. He couldn't. There's always a tax and there's a marginal fee you have to pay. That's what happened to the woman in Mississauga. Okay, she had to pay administrative fees. Send the money, can't access the money, money's gone. Boom. Tech support. How many times you've been going advertising, you got trouble with your computer or you're researching your trip to Mexico and these little messages pop up on the side. They're called pop-up messages. They're scams. It's a virus. Never, ever respond to them. Microsoft tech support, get a problem with the computer. These are scammers sitting in a call center in India. Okay. So a lot of people say, I don't know how it happened. Well, this is exactly how it happens. They ask you for your IP address, which is basically the postal code for your computer, which is fine. Then they send you an email. They've asked you for your email. They send you a link with a program that you have to download. A lot of people fail to tell me that. I don't know how it happened. Just out of the blue, they controlled my computer. You went to that second step. You downloaded the program, and in that program, there's either malware or keystroke viruses. So every time you log in a computer, they're figuring out your passwords. Or they had malware so they can remotely control your computer, meaning your webcam. Even if your webcam is turned off or your computer is turned off, if they have the virus on your computer, they can still look into your camera. So they see you walking around in your underwear. That's how it works. The only way to get that fixed, unplug your computer, shut it off, take it to a legitimate computer company or a kid in grade 12 because they're really your choice. They are really smart. Okay? That's how it works. That's all you need to know on that. More scams, call spoofing. Be very careful. You have call display. Don't trust any phone numbers. It could be your church. It could be the RCMP. Do the verification first. The woman I told you about, her and her husband had both been sick. They owned a couple of businesses, very successful. They lost $17,000. They got a call display saying it was from the RBC fraud department. And that's very standard. They were kind of hooked in because their credit card was compromised a couple of years back. I said, okay, let's find what's going on. He said, yeah, your credit card's been compromised. You got to work with us. She said, yeah, what do you want? She said, yeah, you got to cut up your debit card, credit card. Oh, okay, it's kind of weird, but we'll cut it up. You got to put it in a Ziploc baggie. I said, okay, where's this going? They said, and we're going to send a courier to your house to pick it up. And I'm like, these are smart people. But as she said, I did not bring my A game. So courier comes to the house, South Asian male, COVID mask on. Who is he? Don't know. Picks it up. And then, get ready for it. She was asked for her PIN number. Of course, she gave the PIN, right? Because she's talking to the bank. She thinks she's talking to the bank. So then they've got her on the phone for the next 4 days. They're shuffling money around. They're controlling it to make sure that she's not being jeopardized anymore. And so what she figured out afterwards, she gets a bill 5 days later, or like 2 weeks later, she had bought jewelry in Surrey for $17,000. What they were doing, they're doing the jigsaw puzzle, trying to get the numbers on the debit card and credit card. So they already had the PIN, right? But now you need the debit card numbers. That's all it was. It took them 4 days to figure it out. Like, have you ever heard something like that? That is crazy. That's that. Canadian Anti-Fraud Center happens all the time. People impersonating other people from legitimate companies. Be very wary of that. If you ever say your credit card's been compromised or it's a bank calling, never call the number they give. Always call the number on the back of your debit card or your credit card. Tell us offering new phones. They're not offering new phones. Okay, it's a scam. Overpayment happens all the time. Start selling something. You're into furniture or cars or something. And these people, they start talking to you. And it's an online communication. And you have a mutual interest in something. Yeah, I'll buy it for $1,000. Okay. But I'll send you a check for $1,600 because that's all I have right now. I'll send the check to you. I trust you. You deposit the check and you send the overpayment to me. Right? People do that all the time because often the check won't clear for 2 or 3 days. All you're doing is sending your money back. Then you find out there's insufficient funds on the check or it's stolen. And it works. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. So what do you want to do? Beware public Wi-Fi as well. People say, oh, wow. So what's the first thing you do when you get to a hotel? What's the Wi-Fi password? Okay. So criminals know that. Criminals also are using that. And if they're smart, they can log in and figure out what your data is. Doesn't matter if it's secure. Like you get the little lock of the URL. You're on the right, you're there at Costco or Home Depot, but you're still on a public Wi-Fi. Criminals know that. And if it's your day to lose your money, they can break into that website and they can steal any information they can find, meaning your banking, your pictures, compromising pictures, whatever you have on your computer or phone, they can do that to you. Be very aware of it. Fake QR codes happen all the time. See them on posters or on walls downtown. There's a raffle, there's a fundraiser. They're advocating for a new business with a QR code. They're fake QR codes with viruses. Be very aware of those. Fake websites with the spelling. You ever shopped at Costco online? Anybody? You ever shopped at Costco online? Oh, yeah, a lot of people have because the pinky kind of goes to the wrong spot, right? The O, you get the A. That's exactly what it is. People are expecting you to make mistakes. Google versus Google. Okay, that's all it is. Because we're not looking at it. So you have to do is slow down, look at the URL you've typed in. If you're on the right one, there will be a little lock beside it saying that's the correct one. And wine and internet don't mix. That's what happens. What else? Monitor your bank statements faithfully within every 30 days. If you don't, the bank's not doing it for you. Unless you've got $20 million in the bank account, they're looking at it every day because they're making a lot of money off you. The rest of us peons, they don't care. Sorry for any retired bankers. I don't mean that facetiously. It's just how it is. They got too many clients going on. You got to make sure if you see something fraudulent, contact your bank. They'll work with you to get that money back. Facebook settings, right? Know how to change them. Talk to a kid in grade 12, smart. Passwords, change them faithfully. Most common password out there? Password. Okay, password. I think the criminals know that. Leave it at that. Software. If you know how to do it, talk to a kid in grade 12, go to Best Buy, update your, it's like anything, it wears out. Get new software, install it on your computer, get the viruses cleaned off. Don't open emails from strangers. Okay? Don't open links from strangers. If you get an email or a website that comes via an email, just take your cursor and go over the top. If it expands like this, that's not a legitimate email. It's from a scammer somewhere. If you look on a link and you take your mouse and hover over the link goes, it's fake. Secondly, it might be legitimate, but if you don't know who the person is and you don't know where it came from, do not click on that link. You can drop it into your trash. You don't have to delete it. It's not going to blow up and squirrel into your computer, but don't open it or don't send it to people. Drives me batty. My friend always sends me these attachments on Facebook. I hate that because they're ripe with viruses. So be careful if you're one of those people because there's somebody in the room that does that. And only going to trust the websites. Fox News is not trusted website. I can tell you. There's some really good numbers. The Anti-Fraud Center, again, they collect data. They should bookmark that to your computer. They have a page on there from A to Z, all the frauds and scams being perpetuated across Canada. And I've got copies of the PowerPoint, so you don't have to worry about taking pictures or writing these numbers down. Equifax TransUnion, small fee. They'll monitor your credit cards, right? My brother was traveling to Toronto. He had lunch and then he was off to Colorado. When he went for dinner in Colorado, he went to use his credit card. It was declined. Called the credit card, says, yeah, he says, this is not your scenario. Like, what's going on here? You're in Toronto, you're in Colorado. He says, well, that happens sometimes. He says, well, thank you for letting us know. They did a password check on him. They reinserted his credit card. But that's what that will happen. That's good to know. BC Securities Commissions, bookmark that, right? If you got a company you're thinking they're dealing with and they're not registered, find out why they're not registered. Okay, if they're not with BC Securities Commissions, there's a reason why. Chances that it could be a scammer. They call us, call the real police. Okay, and we'll let you know. And lastly, never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence. Questions? Yes.
So you going to Mexico, you must go online and make reservations. And that always worries me when I do that.
I know.
And VRBO is another one.
Yeah.
I worry about because you have to send money.
As long as you stay within the VRBO or the Airbnb site, your money's guaranteed. So if you get scammed, the Airbnb will get your money back to you. What the scammer's hoping for, they're going to take you outside of the website, get you to send an e-transfer via Gmail or something else. That's when most people get scammed. And I went to a banking conference and they were telling me that. That's a typical ploy where a scammer will infiltrate and get you outside of the traditional website to send you money. Ladies first, so there's two of them. Yes,
I'm wondering about, my credit card's been compromised several times, but it's nothing I did, it's like, if they get stolen from another business's database or something where you had nothing to do with it. I had one recently.
get another card.
I contacted the company, the bank right away, and
Yeah.
as we were sitting there, it's going ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. It was the Instacart. Somebody in the Maritimes was using my number.
Don't blame it on the Maritime. We are good people, okay?
Businesses, and they have your number and your data.
And they sell it.
You're kind of at risk for their security systems or an inside theft
Yeah.
from their databases, or however that might happen. Other than monitoring, you're putting all those alerts out so you know when a transaction goes instantly through your
Yeah.
accounts. Is there anything else to do with protecting from?
What you can do, what a lot of people are doing, and what we're doing now, because we're doing a lot of stuff online. So I have my Gmail that I use, and my wife has her Shaw account. She loves it because it's got her name on it. I don't know why. Okay, it's her issue. So we also have a Gmail or Hotmail account just for certain transactions. So first of all, we don't get all the junk. Secondly, we don't get that email and it gets compromised. And if you're traveling a lot, it's good to have 3 or 4 different credit cards that you can use with small amounts, capped at $2,000 or $3,000. In the event that you're traveling and your credit card gets compromised, you can convert to those ones. My friend of mine did that all the time. She traveled 80 different countries and went with 6 different credit cards that she could use. What happens is, think about the times that you've gone shopping, Best Buy, whatever it is. You've got a 16-year-old girl working the counter, not even looking at you. She goes, yeah, do you want to sign up for the newsletter? Yeah, sure, of course. Put your name, phone number, email address, boom. Wow, there's a data breach, or somebody in that company sells it in the dark web. The criminals have your information. Happens all the time. Look at the data breaches on London Drugs last year, VHA. Like, look at the information that criminals can get their hands on. Scary stuff. Or we can just go back to cash. And you can't, because you have to find a way just to keep yourself safe. Yes, ma'am.
There's 2 questions, and one was, I'm really surprised that bank accounts can be hacked. I had my checking account hacked by somebody who bought Redskins tickets in Washington. So I found that by looking through my checking account. So are banks not a safe place?
We have the safest banking institutions in the world. Our system is the safest in the world. If your bank gets compromised, it's probably, and I'm pointing at you, probably something that you have done, not the bank. For example, PayPal.
Oh, yeah.
PayPal is safe. It's probably, if your PayPal account gets compromised, you've probably done something, not PayPal itself.
Okay, so
Yeah. Like chip technology, best in the world, right? And people are tapping. So, oh, tap is terrible. So I talked to a banker, said, we're never getting rid of tap because it's convenience. They know there's a 5% risk associated with it, but people love to tap. Question is, how much do you want to tap? Do you want $1,000 limit or a $200 limit, or no tap at all? It's entirely up to you. These criminals take your card, and they're going to tap out in half an hour. Gas and booze and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other question was, on websites that often ask you where you want to save your password. Is that a good idea?
No, not at all. That's a bad idea. It's very bad.
Okay.
But you knew that. Yeah.
Checks. You know,
Checks.
people used to write checks.
Yeah, I had to send a check for years. What do you do with that again? I know. Yeah. Pretty bad, eh? People leave them in the car. Yeah. Why don't you just leave your wallet in the car? Number 1 item stolen for guys is wallets from cars.
Would leave your wallet in the car.
Excuse me,
I'm in.
we're not that bright, okay? That happens. Here's the funny thing. I the guy has wallet, so I said, but I've got a great spot. I know where to hide my wallet in the car. And then I tell them, I tell you something, criminals go to jail, they don't get better, they get worse. And they know exactly where you're hanging your wallet. We're not that bright.
It's very terrifying. I gotta just stay in my house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Never leave your house, never go online, destroy your credit cards. Yeah,
I keep my money.
knowledge is powerful, right?
Scary.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But anyway, the story. I'm concerned about how easy it is for someone to pick up somehow get their hands on your Visa card and start tapping away.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. That is so risky. But anyway, I was shopping, it was on Albert Street, and I guess when I got out of the car, I have a little wallet, I keep all my cards in. And when I came out of the store, when I went to pay at the cashier and didn't have my little wallet for cards, I panicked. What to do? And I retraced all my steps, couldn't find it anywhere. Went to my car, it was parked in the road, and I was looking furtively for it. And an employee of the Central Drugs walked by my car and saw me looking for this. And he said, "Oh, did you lose something?" "Yes, my little wallet with all my cards." "Oh," he says, "an employee at the Central Drugs saw it sitting on the top of your car on the roof."
Oh.
Wow.
And took it back to the Central Drugs and called the RCMP, and somebody rather dropped it off there. So contacted the RCMP. Yeah, the full story was someone saw it on the road, some good Samaritan, and picked it up and put it on the roof of my car. And then it was just a story that shows, there are some good people in the world who can do.
So along that lines, there's another thing called distraction theft. And what happens often when we're shopping, we don't really look at the person standing beside us. And if you're not tapping, you're using your PIN. So what'll happen is all the time you got your PIN and somebody's standing here, they can see your number, right? And then they follow you to your car. You sit down. And what a lot of women do is when they go in, they put the purse right beside them. The distraction stuff work. The guy comes out frantically knocking on your window, and he's got a map. He's trying to get to Qualicum Beach. This is what they used last year. They said, so the woman actually, he wants her to get out of the car for a reason. So he gets out of the car and he's looking at the map, trying to understand how to get to Qualicum Beach. In the meantime, his colleague is going to the passenger window, opening up and taking her credit card because they already have her PIN number. He saw her enter the PIN number in the bank at the store. That's quite a bit. It's called shoulder surfing, right? People standing too close when you're going to an ATM. They're looking at the information you're patting in. Along that lines for a second, also skimming is what a lot of people do on vestibules at ATMs. They'll put a sheath in where you put your credit card, and it's fake. Criminals are nearby with a laptop with software, and that sheath is getting information sent to the laptop of anybody who inserts a credit card or debit card. And they take that for about 2 hours, and they take the sheath off, put the original one back on, then they go out and whoop, take all the money out of your bank account. That happens.
Is there a way to?
First of all, yeah, don't always look at the sheet, the insertion, the ATM. If there's anything out of the norm, don't. The other thing is, sometimes people will walk around with laptops in a bag, and they can scan your wallet without you knowing it, getting your credit card, debit card information. But there's RFID. Where's my jacket?
Is that hanging up in the?
Okay, in my jacket, I've got a wallet that has RFID protection. If you reach in my left pocket, you can grab my wallet. I know it's in there. I know what's going on. And it's a little wallet, and you get these. There we go. So it's protected. So they can't scan it. There you go. My wife put this on here. She said, so if I lose my wallet, I think it's so you keep track. This is the Apple AirTag. These are good too, because I lose my wallet all the time. But you can get these for about $100, I think, probably less. It'll protect. They are. This is metal. You get a little one too. Absolutely. Okay. That's how you protect your information.
I did have a to the States, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
And I kept the little sheath that they would put in for protection, and that's where I keep my credit card.
Bingo. Good.
Gary, I remember, when I first arrived in Canada, I was young and innocent.
What happened to you? You probably ended up marrying a Canadian woman.
Up in Jasper, I was doing some climbing or whatever. And I had a nice wallet, beautiful wallet, and I just left it on the dash of the car because in New Zealand they wouldn't rob you or anything like that. So I crossed to Jasper, and then I came back later in the day and broken the window and taken the wallet, right? So I immediately went to the RCMP and I met this officer and he said, "Don't worry, sir, we'll get our man." My first experience.
Yeah.
And I said,
Jumps on his horse.
Really? I said, well, I'm going off to a movie, right? I didn't have any money in those days, so there was no money in the wallet. There was no credit card, so there was nothing really to steal me except my identity. But anyway, I went to the movie, and halfway through the movie, they stopped it, and this announcement came up: "Is Roger Ball in the audience?" My wallet. Nothing was missing because there was nothing of worth in it.
That is funny.
Again, I never leave my wallet on the dash.
Wow. That's funny.
That was my experience. Never to. I'm not a prisoner of my past. I don't believe.
There you go.
My wife recently had her debit card scammed somehow. We were sitting morning, having breakfast together, and she was checking her account and noticed there were some charges there that she hadn't made using her card that she had in her hand, in her purse. So she called RBC and they immediately put a hold on her card. And I'm just wondering how people could be making purchases without her card being there, but using her card number.
That's a tough one. Yeah, I know. I don't have an answer for that.
That happened to me and I went to TD about it because something had been taken off in China on my debit in there.
Is it a debit Visa card?
Yes.
Yeah, the debit Visa.
Oh.
So that so at some point that number's been entered and Visa with the expiry date as well. So it went into a database. With a regular debit card, it wouldn't make any sense because you have to present the debit card. I used to have a debit Visa, and you could use that for limited purchases. So it got scammed somehow.
Yeah.
In the system.
Yeah, somebody was buying shoes and boots.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
This was for DoorDash in Hunan, China, okay? And no, really.
Yeah.
So I took that capability off my debit.
Oh, good.
No one can take my card, or I can't even use the card. The banks know that I will never use that to pay for DoorDash or whatever. I could never do that. It's never for anything that's delivered to me or anything. So that can never happen again. Yeah, the bank told me that. They also told me to take tap off the debit.
Yeah.
It's true. A lot of people don't like that.
Hate tap. Anybody could take your card.
Yeah. It's convenience. A lot of people love tap. right?
Take it off your debit.
That's it.
Good point.
Yeah.
They have to.
All right, so I've got, my kids are gonna be teenagers soon. Do you
Oh,
their social media and whatnot?
oh. Yeah, so do
Well, they don't have phones yet, so I know.
it. Yeah, they will.
But
We're
soon.
probably getting a phone.
Yeah.
It's not, was it New Zealand they just banned it?
Yeah.
You gotta be 16. So they'll have probably a Facebook account, they'll probably have a backup Facebook account too.
Do they still use Facebook? It's not Instagram or?
Oh, that's for the parents. But yeah, they'll have that, but they'll have a backup Facebook account. They'll use Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok, Snapchat. For them to get a phone, they must be willing to give you their password.
Okay.
And if they don't, there's a reason why.
Mhm.
And then you have to monitor.
Yeah.
And you can't be hardcore, but it's like, okay, this is inappropriate. What's going on here? I had a friend of mine whose daughter was sending inappropriate videos of herself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. To older people.
Ooh.
Yeah. So therapy, shut phone down, working
Yeah.
with the police,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards, monitored at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, not cool.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Yeah. I think somebody's ever heard some of those videos would be helpful too, just be like, yeah,
Yeah, it's a tough security.
yeah,
They want their independence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't realize there are pedophiles, there
Yeah.
are sexual predators trolling those sites.
yeah,
Even for the younger kids playing these games,
yeah,
they're trolling those sites. And if they're going onto a site where there's internet capability, you can play with people across the world.
Mhm.
Sexual offenders are in there. Be very careful.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
These days, you can actually set up your kids' phones so that a verification number comes with any change to passwords and things like that comes to you.
Okay.
So that, because kids are smart, they don't want to change passwords
Yeah.
before you do probably. But yeah, you can set it up that way, so the verification code comes to your
Yeah.
email, not to theirs.
Okay.
I'm glad my kids are
Okay.
Do it for your wife too, so.
So I said, your mission is to go out and just,
Tell two people.
yeah, tell two people, because there are people living in a bubble. And they don't know anything. And it's scary. Those are the people who lose all the money. So spread the word. If you got any questions, you had something that's embarrassing that happened to you, and you don't feel like standing in front of the crowd and say, I lost $8,000. Give me a call. Let me know. Right? So here's one thing. So if you are a victim means is you've lost money in a scam, or your data has been compromised. Credit card, debit card, SIN number, whatever it is. Okay, you're also a victim. You can contact your local police. You get a phone number, we work with you. Are we going to get your money back? Probably not. Like we're not. Most of the grandson scams are perpetuated out of Montreal. It's so bad they have a grandson unit. A friend of mine heads it up. They're in Montreal. We had one where we tracked it back to a house. And, oh, fantastic! So we called and said, "Yeah, we know it's the house. There's 12 criminals working out of this house. Who made the phone call? We don't know." The big one is working with Homeland Security, FBI, Interpol. They're all coming out of Cambodia, Myanmar, Nigeria, and they shut these down as quick as they can, but it's a vacuum. One down, another one gets sucked in. Yeah, really tough. The one that we didn't even touch on, and I run the Block Cross program. You guys got a great program here. Thank you, Linda. Well, she's leaving again, go hiking again. Is people have mobility issues. Okay, often these are the ones that get targeted on the lotto scams, and they get mail all the time. Reader's Digest, Clearinghouse. These are all scams. And often these people are sitting in their house because they have mobility issues and they're writing checks. Wow, I've been pre-approved for $400 million. All they have to do is write $200 for a small administrative fee. Then I'm into a pool where there's only 10 people. And this goes on and on and on and on and on. And often people are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars on these, and they're too embarrassed to tell anybody because they don't know what to do. So if you see that, if you're having tea, you have somebody who's got mobility issues, you're dropping by their house, look for these signs and then contact your local police. Let us work with you because there's really things. There's outreach programs for seniors can also help as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we could go on all day, but I got a ferry to catch for 3 o'clock. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.